Ever find yourself scrolling through app reviews thinking, man, I could totally do this, maybe even better?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Turns out that thought could actually be your ticket to some extra cash.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Today, we're diving deep into the world of paid app reviewing. We'll figure out if it's a legit side hustle, a scammer's paradise, or somewhere in between.
All right. I'm intrigued. I see people talking about it more and more online, but is it really a thing? Like, can you actually make a living reviewing apps?
Well, that's what we're here to find out.
Okay, cool, cool.
And to help us navigate this digital landscape, we've got a bona fide expert in the house.
Well, I don't know about bona fide expert, but I have been in the app development game for a while now, seeing a lot of these trends come and go.
Perfect. So let's jump right in. Are we really seeing a rise in this whole paid app reviewing thing? Is it actually a sustainable way to make money?
It's definitely a growing part of the gig economy. I mean, think about it. The app market is exploding, right?
Right, more apps than we can shake a stick at.
Exactly. And all these developers, they're all hungry for feedback. They need to know what works, what doesn't, especially when an app is still in those early stages.
Makes sense. I mean, who wants to pour their heart and soul into an app only to find out nobody likes it?
Exactly. So having those early reviews, even if they're from paid reviewers, it's super valuable.
So, for our listeners who might be hearing about this for the first time, where do these app reviewing gigs even exist? Asking for a friend, of course.
Sure, sure. Well, you're not going to find them on your average job board, that's for sure.
Right.
There are actually a bunch of platforms out there specifically connecting reviewers with developers.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And it's not just those public reviews you see on the App Store or Google Play either. A lot of this feedback happens behind the scenes before an app is even released.
Huh. Interesting. So it's like being a beta tester, but with more constructive criticism?
Yeah, you could say that.
Speaking of constructive criticism, let's be honest. Some of the app reviews out there, well, there's something else. So, what actually makes a good app reviewer? The kind that developers actually pay attention to.
Good question. It's more than just saying this app is trash or this is the best thing ever.
Right. A little detail would be nice.
You've got to be able to give what we call constructive criticism. That means clearly explaining what's not working and why. And this is key offering potential solutions too.
Okay, I like that. Be helpful, not just whiny.
Yeah. So instead of just saying this button is ugly, you'd say something like the buddy's color clashes with the background, making it hard to see. Maybe try a shade that contrasts more.
Oh, that's good. You're not just complaining. You're actually giving them something to work with.
Exactly. Developers, they eat that stuff up.
That makes a lot of sense. So let's walk through the whole reviewing process. You get an app, you download it, you poke around, then what? And of course, the big question, when's payday?
So usually you'll get a set of instructions from the developer or the platform.
Okay, to keep you on track.
Right. They'll outline what aspects of the app they really want you to focus on. Like, is it the functionality they're worried about, or the ease of use, or even just how much fun it is to use?
So it's not just go wild. Tell us what you think.
Sometimes it is, but often they have specific things they want feedback on. Yeah. You might even need to test the app on different devices, see how it works on a smaller phone screen versus a tablet, that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah, that's important. Not everyone's rocking the latest and greatest phone model.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then, once you've gone through everything, you give them your detailed feedback based on what you experienced.
And the payment. Do you send an invoice? Carrier pigeon?
Uh-huh. It's usually a little more straightforward than that.
Good.
It really varies, though. Some platforms, they pay per project. Others might do an hourly rate, and some even offer bonuses for if you find any, like, critical bugs.
Oh, nice. Bug bounties. So on the impact side of things, how much weight do these reviews actually carry? I mean, do developers really take this feedback to heart? Or is it just a box to check for them?
Oh, they absolutely take it to heart.
Really?
User reviews, they can make or break an app, especially when you're talking about those all-important App Store rankings.
Right, because how often do we download an app without at least glancing at the reviews? Like, if it's got 2 stars.
Exactly, and I've even got a story about this. There was this mobile game.
Right.
It had launched, but it was basically invisible in the App Store, just totally buried.
Ouch.
Yeah, it was rough. But the developers, they were smart. They took all the feedback they were getting, both the good and the bad, and they actually made some pretty major changes based on what users were saying.
Okay.
And their downloads went through the roof after that.
Wow, just from listening to the reviews.
Yep. So, yeah, that just goes to show how powerful those user insights can be, even from paid reviewers.
That's a great point. But Of course, with every system, there's always the potential for abuse. So let's talk about those less than honest reviewers. What about fake reviews? How do we ensure everything stays on the up and up?
Yeah, that's the big elephant in the App Store, isn't it? Fake reviews, they're a huge problem. They hurt the developers, they hurt the genuine reviewers, and they definitely hurt users who just want honest opinions.
Exactly. So what can we do about it?
Well, a lot of it comes down to responsibility. It's
Yeah.
on us as reviewers to stay ethical. We've got to make sure we're providing genuine feedback, not just trying to game the system or make a quick buck. Our honest experiences, both good and bad, they contribute to a healthier app ecosystem for everyone.
That's a great point. I never really thought of it like that before.
It's easy to forget sometimes.
Yeah. Now, one last thing before we wrap up. With AI becoming more and more advanced, could we see a future where robots take over this whole app reviewing game, asking for a friend who's suddenly worried about their job security?
Uh-huh. I get that.
Yeah.
It's a valid concern. And yeah, it's true. We are seeing more automated testing in the development process.
Right.
But you know what? I think human feedback, it's always going to be essential, especially when it comes to the more subjective stuff.
Subjective stuff
Like design. A robot can tell you if a button works, but can it tell you if it's enjoyable to use? Can it tell you if an app's design is confusing or if the whole user experience just feels off? Probably not.
It's true. Sometimes it takes a human to know what another human wants.
Exactly.
So for our listeners who are now inspired to maybe dip their toes into this paid app reviewing world, what advice would you give them?
I'd say don't be afraid to just go for it. There are tons of free review platforms out there. It's a great way to kind of get your feet wet, hone your skills, all that. And as you gain experience, start putting together a portfolio of your best work. Developers love to see that you're taking it seriously.
Oh, that's a good tip. Showcase your skills.
And if you really want to stand out from the crowd, consider specializing in a niche app category. You could become the go-to reviewer for like productivity tools or educational games, anything you're passionate about.
So there you have it. It's not just mindless tapping and swiping. There's a whole world of paid app reviewing out there, ripe for the taking.
It's more than just fun and games, that's for sure.
Exactly. Whether you're in it for the money or just for the love of all things apps, remember, honesty and thoughtful feedback are key.
Hear, hear.
All right, everyone, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of paid app reviewing. Until next time.
See you later.